Hey everyone, welcome back to Ask Reddit, the place where you can get your daily dose of Reddit stories. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to never miss an episode. Today's stories are from one of my favorite subreddits, r/entitledparents. Story number 1 is about an entitled mother who starts arguing with her son's teacher about piano lessons. This happened about 4 or 5 months ago. I was really in a good mood that day, so I decided that I'm going to grant a free lesson to one of my new students, who was about 6 years old. I usually give free lessons at the beginning, but I was kind of skeptical about this because I knew that the kid's mother was a very big lady. I enter the school library, which is also the room where I teach. There is a big, beautiful piano in the middle of the room. My colleague, the librarian, is a very nice guy who is also a musician. This will be important later. I wait there for about 10 minutes for the kid to arrive. I really don't like it when people come late, but that day there was immense traffic because of the heavy rain, so I let that slide. Finally, the kid comes in. He had all the things I asked him to bring, so I immediately knew that this kid was going to be a very hard-working person. He told me his name, and we both sat down. After that, the mother came in and sat down with a big thump on one of the couches in the library. She then pulled out her phone and instantly started to type things on it. She didn't even say hello or cared what the kid was doing. I always teach my classes without any parents so that the kids can be relaxed and calm, so I asked the parent to leave. "Excuse me, may I ask you to leave? It's just that I usually teach my classes without parents." "Oh, don't worry, I won't make any noise. You won't even know I'm here." Knowing what kind of a lady she is, I decided not to press the subject. I didn't want to fight, and I also had to start the class. After the first 10 minutes, the kid is doing wonderful. He was very concentrated on what we were doing and was very polite. We mind our own business until the mom started laughing. Yes, laughing. She was laughing like she hadn't laughed in 5 months. You could hear her if you were on the other side of the school. I'd tell her to stop laughing. The conversation went something like this. "Ma'am, could you please stop laughing?" "Who are you to tell me what to do?" "You are interrupting your son's piano lesson." "Yeah, sure. It's not like he was doing well or anything." I'm a pretty patient person, but when it comes to these types of people, I just can't take it easy. I didn't want to make the kid wait for us to continue, so I resumed the lesson. I started to explain to him the order of the notes and where they were on the piano. On the piano, the G is followed by an A. This will be very important. I teach the kid this and ask him to name the notes that I'm pressing, to tell if he learned them or if I need to explain it to him one more time. Right at that moment, his mother raises her head and watches us. He says the right order until we reach the G and A part, in which he doesn't remember what he's supposed to say. The kid looked really disappointed in himself. So I quickly explained to him that he did an awesome job and explained one more time the order of the notes. So that is why the A is after the G. Got it? At that moment, the mom steps in. "That is not correct. Everybody knows that after the G, there's an H." I seriously didn't know why she thought that or what her knowledge in music is, but I nearly started laughing. Me and the librarian didn't know what to say. We were both looking at her with the "Are you freaking serious?" look. Yes, but that is not the case in music. "It's like you don't know anything about music. I bet you don't even know how to play the piano." At that moment, the librarian steps in trying to help me. I tell him to shut up and give him the "I'm so gonna shut up this witch with a B. Let me do it." He understood and settled down on his chair, looking like he wanted some popcorn for the show. "You say I don't know how to play the piano, do you?" "Yes, of course. You aren't even that old to teach piano. I'm going to have you fired for teaching my kid false information." At that moment, I tell her to shut up and I start playing Flight of the Bumblebee on piano. This isn't a piece that I like to impress people with, but she deserved it. After I finish the song, the mother is looking at me with her mouth wide open, like she had seen something so incredible that she didn't know what to say. The librarian can barely hold his laughter, and the student placed his hands over his mouth, trying so hard not to laugh. But even though I played for her, the mother doesn't give up. And what if you can play? That doesn't mean you are teaching my son the proper way to play piano. Yes, she said it like that. At this moment, the librarian stepped in. Listen, lady, you need to lower this tone of yours down, or I'll have to throw you out of the library. If you have doubts about how my colleague teaches her lessons, then I suggest you learn some music theory and teach your own son what you want to teach him. But given the fact that your music knowledge is just as good as the knowledge of a peanut, I suggest you let her teach your son the proper way to play the piano, as you said. He turns to exit the room. Oh, and if you keep making a ruckus, then probably you'll be kicked out of the school. So I suggest you keep quiet or the guards will have to kick you out. Have a nice day. He winked at me and left the room. The mother was speechless. She didn't expect the librarian to step in and shut her up like that, but she quickly resumed the activity of being a Karen. I'm gonna have you fired over this. She tries to take her kid and leave, but he refuses. I want to stay here and keep practicing. At that moment, the mother stormed out of the room, and I started laughing, congratulating the kid for standing up to his mom like that. We kept on with the music lesson, and when it was finished, he left with his dad. The mother was nowhere to be seen, so we continued the day and made fun of her with the other teachers. At the end of the day, the principal told me that the woman came to his office and complained about the fact that I was teaching false information to her angel and that the librarian harassed her. The principal quickly told her to get her huge butt out of the school or he'll call security. I really hope that she doesn't come back. Oh, and the kid continued the piano lessons. This time, his dad, who was one of the nicest people that I have ever met, understood my demands and let the kid enjoy his piano lessons. Story number 2 is called, Why Aren't You Wearing a Mask? Hear me out, my fellow people. I'm working from home, but my wife still has to go to her office to attend her patients. Whenever she needs to go, I drive her there. Same happens when she's done there. I'll pick her up and drive her home. We are social distancing and not going out whatsoever, and once a week I'll clean my car, inside and out. Today, I left her there and was driving back to my house. When I'm driving and won't get out of the car, I don't wear my mask, even though I carry it with me. Let me emphasize this. When I'm driving my car, nobody but my wife gets in my car, okay? I'm at a red light. All is good. All of a sudden, I hear a tap on my windows. I roll it down just an inch so I can hear her, and our star Karen starts her rant. I want to point out when she came to talk to me, her mask wasn't covering her mouth and nose. Why aren't you wearing a mask? What? Why aren't you wearing a freaking mask? You're setting a bad examples for kids. I'm in my car at a red light with my windows closed and air conditioner on. I don't care, a-hole. I see your mask. Put it on now. You're setting a bad example to my child. That's when she points to her child on the sidewalk. Yes, she left the child unattended just to scream at me. The lights turn green and I start to drive away. She kept screaming and threw a water bottle in my car. I decide to ignore it and move on. I don't think I'm wrong about this. Not wearing a mask inside of a car that I clean at least once a week, and I'm the only one with access to it. Thanks again for watching today's episode of Reddit Stories. Leave a comment and tell me what you think about this video. Share your story, and if you want to see more of this, please like and subscribe to my channel.